Thank you. Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here, although it's a little bit humbling, particularly in the presence of such luminaries as are sitting on the panel here. Just by a little bit of background, you may recall the State of the Union speech given by President Bush back in January of 2002, where he described the axis of evil: Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. In the intelligence community, we refer to those three countries and a few others as hard targets, and that includes Russia, China, a few other locations, maybe Libya. But in the axis of evil, in the intelligence community, that means as a hard target, you're the most impenetrable, the most difficult to access, the most hard to decipher, the most difficult to actually get to acquire information on. So we expend a tremendous amount of our budget, a lot of our manpower and resources dedicated to cracking that. The general perception has always been, particularly on the axis of evil, and I've worked against intelligence operations against each of those countries, you make the assumption that the people and the regime and the leadership are one and the same. It was very unique in the sense that when we, in the intelligence community, not just CIA, that when we talked about Iran, there was a difference. And it had to do with the people of Iran. There was an affinity that the people of Iran did not, and this is not just recently, this goes back years and years, that the people of Iran did not agree with the leadership, did not see themselves in that same light. And it was almost unique in terms of that affinity that intelligence operatives and analysts had for the people of Iran. And I think given events over the past few years, and when you look at an organization like the MEK, you look at the trials and tribulations of what's occurring in Ashraf, and that bears witness to the fact that it is unique. All peoples can be considered the same. All peoples desire freedom, freedom from oppression, freedom from torture. Those same atrocities that have been applied to the people of Iran have not taken the same tolls. So again, there's the difference. Now, as the good senator briefly stated in his introduction, I was a spy for nearly 30 years, spending the majority of that time overseas, operating in foreign countries for the United States. And during that time, I came into contact with more than a few number of fellow operatives or spies from other countries, the majority of whom were from nations that did not necessarily share America's goals, ideals, or strategies. Now, these foreign intelligence agencies have the authority to operate with near complete impunity in their own countries and across the globe. Not like the intelligence community in the United States, where there is a tremendous amount of oversight and regulations, laws that have to be maintained and protected. So, in essence, these other foreign entities can serve, both in their own countries and internationally, as powerful and secret weapons for their own leadership. And nowhere was this more evident than the case of the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security, the MOIS. Now, I've had personal contact with MOIS field operatives in my career overseas. But in the case of the MOIS, they operate, obviously, throughout Iran, as well as across the globe. They target dissidents, or anyone whom they believe, or they've been told, are potential threats to the regime.